Hi, first graders and first grade parents. Miss Pagan here. Today is Tuesday, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do for journal today. We're going to go ahead and finish the journal that we started yesterday. So whatever you were writing on yesterday, make sure you have it out today so we can go ahead and finish our paragraph. If you remember, our topic yesterday was writing about a robot inventor named Takahashi. Yesterday, students took about 10 to 12 minutes to draw a picture of something that Takahashi has invented. So something they saw in the story that was posted online yesterday. Students then got to write a topic sentence and a detail. The topic sentence introduced who students were writing about. So they introduced the inventor Takahashi and the fact that he did lots of different things. And their first detail was describing one of the things Takahashi was known for doing, something that was pulled from the story. So today we're going to be working on detail 2 and detail 3. These are going to be very similar to detail 1 from yesterday because these will be things that students heard about or saw when they listened to the story online. So for detail 2, I've given 4 sentence starters that students can choose from. Remember, they only have to choose one. Students can choose next, he blank. So students will want to complete that sentence with something else that they know that Takahashi did. And again, if students need to go back to watch the story, they can do that. If they don't remember those details from yesterday, they can always go back and rewatch. Because in the classroom, we would normally read the story twice before we would do a writing anyways. They can choose also he blank, in addition, he blank, or then he blank. So we want students to remember using those time transition words that we kind of want to go in order. So yesterday, their first detail should have come from towards the beginning of the story, something that he did early on in the story. Detail 2 is going to be something that they read about towards the middle of the story. And then detail 3 that we'll do next, again, will kind of come towards the end. So we want to make sure that students are going in order so that they're not all over the place. So after students have chosen the sentence starter they'd like to use, they need to make sure that they share it out loud with whoever they're working with. And if it makes sense, they're ready to go ahead and write their sentence, picking up where we left off yesterday. So wherever students finish detail 1, that's where they'll write their detail 2 right afterwards. After they write their sentence, they'll do those 4 quick checks that we do each time we write, checking for a capital letter at the beginning, finger space in between each word, making sure that they have the correct punctuation. So it would be a comma today because of our transition words and a period at the end. And then going back to whisper read to make sure that it makes sense and that they put their letters nicely on the line. After students have done detail 2, they're going to be ready for detail 3. So I put up a few sentence starters that students can use. So for detail 3, they can choose finally, Takahashi blank, last, Takahashi blank, or lastly, Takahashi blank. So again, students are going to want to pull from the story from yesterday, and they're going to want to make sure that they find this detail towards the end, because our first detail, again, was towards the beginning, our detail 2 was towards the middle, our detail 3 should be towards the end. So students should choose their sentence starter. They should, again, share their idea out loud to make sure that it makes sense. And then they can go ahead and write their third detail right after their last sentence that they just did, and then do their 4 quick checks as soon as they're done. They'll be ready then to move on to the conclusion. I only put up a couple sentence starters today, but if students have a different sentence starter that I don't have up here that we've used before, they're more than welcome to use it. It's up to them, as long as it makes sense. So if you remember, our conclusion is supposed to be mirrored to our topic sentence. If we think about a paragraph like a sandwich, I've used that analogy before, that our topic sentence is like at the top piece of bread, our details are towards the middle, our filling, and then our conclusion at the end is supposed to be very similar to what students have written for their topic sentence. So if they, for example, said, I can describe the things that Takahashi's done, they can say the same thing for the most part in the conclusion, because again, we want to wrap it all up. We want to make sure, again, that that topic sentence and the conclusion kind of say the same idea. We want to wrap up our paragraph. So they can choose one of the two, again, that I've written or one of their own. They can choose in conclusion or as you can see. So students might say something like, in conclusion, I know that Takahashi did lots of different things. Or as you can see, Takahashi created different inventions. So again, whatever they wrote at their topic sentence, just make sure they read it again before they do their conclusion. So after students have chosen their sentence starter, shared their sentence with you, they can go ahead and write their final sentence on their journal and then go ahead and do those quick checks. So by the end of today, students should have 5 sentences. They should have their topic sentence, their 3 details, and their conclusion. I always make sure to have students go back and reread from the topic sentence all the way down to make sure that it makes sense and to make sure that nothing was left out, and to go back and fix. If they wrote some letters a little bit off the lines, they can go back and fix those too. So hopefully they were able to get their paragraph done for today. Just a reminder that students are going to be able to sound out words that they don't know. They're going to use the spelling rules that they have been taught, and we encourage them to try their best. And if something is spelled incorrectly, that's okay. We just encourage the sentence starters to be spelled correctly because they have access to those, as well as their sight words, their kindergarten and mostly their first grade sight words. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or your classroom teacher, and I hope you have a wonderful day.